good service, good Friday service, had chill Saturday. Sunday was a little bit of family came over for dinner and after church and hung out. And
Nice.
it was good, man. How about you guys?
We went down. So we, live, of course, in DFW, and we went down to Conroe. It's down near Houston. My
Yeah.
wife's boys live down there, so
Nice.
they got an
That's awesome.
awesome place. Both of them on a lake, and one of them lives on a lake golf course. It's just gorgeous.
That's cool.
So,
Okay. So you guys just got a big family get together, a whole bunch of food and hang out.
yep, yep,
Dude, that's perfect. I love that, man. That's kind of what it's all about anyway. So
it
it's
is.
good, man. So update for you. So I talked to the team. The unfortunate part is I don't have great news. Downside is as they started looking, because they dug into the scans. So just like we were talking about, I wasn't sure if we could reach as far as we needed to. And because the limitations, basically what Google's setting as a limitation on that map visibility is about 20 miles. So it's reaching pretty far, but it's not hitting Oklahoma City and it's not hitting Dallas because of the other companies that are marketing in those areas. Google's given them the presence. So from like an organic map perspective, we're not going to be able to push that visibility that we want to be able to push. So what our options are really is, again, we can get that 20-mile radius. So we can get some of those smaller cities. I don't know how much traffic that's going to bring because like you said, most of the time you have either people in
It's kind
Oklahoma
of
or
like
people
local, right? It's kind of like where we are. The stockyards is probably 30 minutes from my house. Do I ever go to the stockyards? Maybe if somebody comes in there, a tourist, but I don't go as a whole. Does that make sense? If you have a touristy place, it's kind of like the waterfall and the, I mean, you live there, you've lived it all your life. You're not going to go out there as a whole because it's like even living in Colorado or somewhere or Florida. I mean, you're used to it. You live it.
your internet's pretty spotty for me. I'm getting like every other word right now.
I said, let me see it, take it off the internet and see if this makes a difference.
Do you want to talk on the phone? Would that be easier?
No, I mean, I'm fine. Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
Yes, I got you now.
Okay. So
Okay, yeah.
what I was saying is we live 30 minutes from the stockyards, or stockyard. And so my point is, unless somebody's coming in from out of town, I don't ever go down there. It's a touristy
Yep.
kind of thing. So it's the same thing with the river and waterfall or living around beauty all your life. You're just used
Yep.
to it. You live in it every day.
Yeah. It's just beautiful. You're like, I
And the
get it.
demographics are so small is my point.
Yeah.
The town where this waterfall is 2,500 people. The towns
Yeah. They're
around
not
it,
calm.
there's one that's 40, and occasionally I get a call from somebody local, but I've got enough. My opinion is I've got enough presence already there in the local market that if I was going to
Yeah.
get a lot more calls, it already starts showing up, and I could enhance that.
Yeah. I was going to say, you have very, very good, like we said, I mean, there's gaps, but it's not the honest part that I'm coming to is like at the end of the day, there's not a lot of value you spending money with me.
Okay.
It might give you a little bit of opportunity, but it's not going to be a massive conversion, right? Um, the only other option would be to open up additional locations, right? And working on reviews and visibility. And you could do that two ways. One is you could set up like a service area business opposed to a physical address, right? So you have physical addresses for your Turner Falls. Um, you could open up if you have addresses that you can do as like point of interest type stuff or service area businesses where you're targeting one in Dallas and one in Oklahoma City. And then we could work on visibility in those areas to get the keywords like Turner Falls, cabins, and so on and so forth. So we can start working on market share visibility in those pockets. But the downside is I can't do it without a location in those areas. It's
All right.
I can't. I'm not going to promise you something I can't do
No, I
because you'll
got
spend
you. And
money with me.
you know what? I respect that.
Cool, but
So,
it's strategy, man. I mean, if you think through it and you talk to your wife about it or whatever, if you're thinking through and you say, hey, we have a family member in Oklahoma City we can use an address for. we can open up a service area business as a secondary location towards Turner Falls Cabins as a business. Same thing with Dallas, Plano, like the DFW area. If you have an address in the DFW area that we can use as a service area,
Right.
then we can set up those locations. You start driving reviews to those locations as well, so that way we can get some visibility for the reviews. And then we just push volume visibility in those two areas. And
Right.
then you have Google Map visibility for those specific market spaces.
Okay. Well,
So,
answer me this right quick while I've got you on the phone.
yeah, what do you got?
So you do like 5 words at a time, right? Typically, and then do you go on to another 5? Like, let's say you have somebody that is a plumber or dentist. Do you do 5 words and then try to pick up longer tail
So,
keywords off that, or what?
yeah, so I'll show you two things real quick. So, no, we're going after way more than 5 words. So we set up, let me pull up. Actually, let me do this. All right, so I'm going to show you. I'll show you two things. I mean, one thing, there is some stuff that maybe we could do to help, depending on what you want from it. But I feel like most of your markets in the Dallas, Fort Worth, and Oklahoma City area, so it may not make sense. But let's see. So when we set up a campaign, so there's two ways that we're looking at it. So we have like your Google Map campaign, and we have your organic campaigns, right? So we run both depending on what we're targeting and how we want to go and how
And you
aggressive we
need
want to get.
access to the GMB too.
Yep. Yeah, we need
Okay.
access to the Google Business profile and all that good stuff. Okay. So like, for example, with this customer, so this is your kitchen, your bathroom kitchen. Okay. These guys are out of Pennsylvania. So they have locations in Lancaster, Media, and Mechanicsburg, right? So we have 5 core keywords that we're going after, but this is the list of the keywords that we're targeting. So even though we're targeting 5 core keywords, which are the highest value keywords, those build out those variations that you're talking about, right? So we may be going after, bathroom and kitchen remodeling, but with that, it's going to be in Mechanicsburg, in Media, PA, in these other locations. So this is like an example of the list of the keywords that we're working on for this client. And we're trying to push visibility on all of these keywords
But
across
this
the
would be more
execution.
organic than it would for GMB, right?
Oh, these are Google Business Profile keywords. So this
Okay.
is specifically for their Google Business Profiles that we've set up visibility. So this is map positions, not organic ranking positions, which is why it's connected to their Google Business
I got
Profile
you.
specific. So this is a totally separate campaign from organic. We're obviously pushing organic traffic with this same strategy, but like when we go through national campaigns, what we're typically building is we're building out, content pages across the greater market space. And what we're driving is organic visibility across, let's say, keywords. So this is like our business, right? So SEO for moving companies, Denver. So for us, like even with this example, we're trying to rank within specific cities for specific keywords to drive that market visibility in organic, right? So here's our
Gotcha.
business, here's mover, right? So there's two different executions that we're approaching. So we have that national approach where we're covering major cities like
Yeah, that
Phoenix,
makes sense.
right? So
And
this
by
is a
that
much
moving up, it
broader.
helps your GMB move up or GBP, whichever you want to call it.
Exactly. All of it works hand in hand. So like we have guys who will do an organic package where we're targeting the entire state, right? Like let's say, for example, and we could do this without Google Business Profile execution if you wanted, but if we said, okay, state of Texas, state of Oklahoma, and we want to focus on cabin rentals, Turner Fall cabins, so on and so forth. We want to focus on cabin terms through the state of Texas and through the state of Oklahoma City, we would say like cabin rentals, Houston, right? Or
Yeah.
cabin rental companies, or cabin rentals in Texas, or cabin rentals, Oklahoma City cabin rentals, right? So we can cover those organic terms to get a much wider, broader visibility. So there's campaigns that we do for products that are national, right? So we can go either hyper local focused. So like one of our partners is in Plano, Texas. They do Plano and Frisco, and that's it for organic.
What do they do?
And it's a moving company.
Okay.
So here, I'll show you. I'll show you their campaign. So they're very hyper targeted. So we can kind of, depending on what each customer wants, as we from an organic keyword, not maps, right? Because maps are going to be limited to the radius that we can get it in. But like these guys are in Plano and Frisco, and that's it. And they're a franchise, so they're not allowed to go past Plano and Frisco.
Gotcha.
So we're covering organic keyword visibility for these guys. You know, they just started about a month ago, so it's newer rankings, but like 220 in the first and third position, 800 total keywords. But you can see it's like home cleanouts, Rock Hill, affordable long distance movers, renter, right? So we're targeting the major cities within their market space for the services that they have to drive traffic visibility and
Yeah, and
organic
then
visibility.
so if they're in Renner and they look it up on
Yep.
a GMB and their address is pretty close, even if it's within that 20 miles, it should come up because you're doing
Yep.
organic specifically for that search term to pull it in.
Yep. Which we see all the time. So even though we're doing organic, there's terms that people will copy and they're like, wow, I'm showing up on maps. Yep. That's Google, right? It's relevancy. So this is just bigger campaigns for bigger keyword variations. So like for you guys, again, when we go back to your brand, I mean, you guys have a lot of that organic visibility targeted towards um, uh, Turner Creek or Turner Falls, right? Or Turner Falls. So there is tons and tons. Oops, let me go organic. So you guys have that keyword volume, and in your top positions, right? It's all Turner Fall cabins. So the only opportunity that I could say, if you don't want to open up Google Business Profiles, is we would go over those transactional keywords where it would be like cabin rental companies or cabin rentals for Oklahoma, same type thing, right? So we can go broader variations and we can target cities across Texas and Oklahoma. And then that way we can open up that market visibility for variations of keywords to service those areas. But again, you have a ton, these are all still first page, right? You have a ton of keyword visibility in the first page of Google
Yeah, I
already
just
for
don't
Turner
know that it.
Falls.
I don't know if it'd make a lot of sense to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I agree. So it's kind of a hard spot, right? Like, yes, we can do this. I don't know if it'll drive more traffic. Like, we can get you this huge visibility between, I can cover Denver if you wanted, right? Like, we can cover the area of Denver if they're looking for cabin rentals. It may not drive any traffic because you're in Oklahoma and they may want Denver, right?
Right.
But then on the other end of it, from a map perspective, is there work we could do now? Yes, but is that work going to convert what we need? Probably not,
It's about
because it's in
1,500
that
a
20.
month, right?
Yeah, 1,500
Sure.
a month.
How did
So
you get into
I
this
would say,
business?
yeah, good question, man. So just kind of career background, man. I've worked in education. So I told you about Odyssey Ware, which I did sales for. Moved into National Academy of Sports Medicine, selling education for like the fitness world. Transitioned out of there into marketing. So I went into work for a commercial printer, and I worked for a big sheet fed web printer doing digital or commercial marketing, and learned about the digital marketing world at the same time, and did that for about 6 years. Transitioned to robotics after that. So I did robotic automation, sales for like big warehouse distribution centers and things like that. So it was like AMRs that would roll through the warehouses. Hated it, moved out of that into SEO like 3 years ago. And then I started working with a company called Rotate Digital, who does SEO for moving companies specifically. And that's where I learned my SEO niche. So I knew about marketing, I've known about sales, I've known about business and organizational growth. So I took all that knowledge that I learned with the SEO knowledge and that's how we jumped into what we have now.
So is it your company or you part owner or?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
my company. So me and my brother are partners. So my brother is his name's Mark. He's a CTO. So his background is he's an aerospace engineer at trade, like a degree, and then at trade he's a coder and a developer. That system that I showed you where we do the organic ranking, he brought that method in from his work at Zillow, as he had done coding development and some SEO work at Zillow for a while. So we brought that system in along with my map process, and we said, hey, this is what it will look like for us to dominate 2 areas of Google um, effectively. So, and we said, let's do it, man. Tired of working for the man, get everybody else paid. So I was like, let's work for ourselves and deal with that headache.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, man, thanks for your time today. I mean, you are a really stand-up guy.
Thanks, Ron. Yeah, dude, anytime you need help, man, I tell guys, like, regardless if you're paying me to work for you or not, if you got questions or if there's something I can do to help, if you decide like, hey, I do want to open up these GBPs and you want some direction with it, let me know. Um, yeah, I would rather be a resource and help than just a guy who took your money. So
Well, there's so many guys in this business that there's so much BS. Like, I'm going to get you on the first page in 30 days. Okay, do a long enough keyword, and of course you can do that. And it
oh
depends
yeah,
on
if
the
it's
industry, the location. There's so many factors. Nobody can say that and 100% make it true. I don't think so.
not perfectly, and it's always a risk. And we say, our goal is 100 keywords, but the reality is the valuable keywords are a lot of work. And if we don't get it, we don't get it. It just kind of is what it is. So
Right. So
yeah,
normally,
but
do
yeah,
your customers stay with you? Like, is it a long term, every month kind of deal? Does it trail off after that? Do you go down if it's just a maintenance type thing once you get it to a certain position or what?
yes. So typically what it would look like, so there's two different types of customers, right? There's the customer that wants visibility, that they're trying to grow their business to a certain size, and then they're good, right? And they stop. So for example, let's say a moving company, because I work with a lot of movers, right? They would want one location, they want to dominate, one primary city. They never want to go past that. They want to do $2-3 million in sales. They don't really want to get bigger than that because operational changes that have to happen. We get them there, and then either they walk away or they cut back spend substantially. And we put them on like a maintenance just to hold it for like $500 a month, right? And just keep doing some granular work to make sure they hold ranking. Um, then we have the other customers that are like, hey, I want to go from 2 million to 10 million. And we go through that process over a couple years. And then maybe they keep going, maybe they don't. So customers, I mean, I would say it's kind of hit or miss depending on what the customer does with us. But I mean, typically it's going to be anywhere from 6 to 9 months as a typical stay time for a client, depending on how far they want to go. But the ones that are continually growing, it's 2-3 years. Like they'll stay for a long period of time to keep moving, as long as the needle is moving.
But if they're
So,
in a highly competitive industry, if they're not doing something, somebody will overtake you in the future.
yep,
So as long as you're
exactly.
doing, you know, I think a little bit
Um,
along the way, right? That's what gets you to the end because it shows Google you're doing. Google likes activity, right? But not too much.
Relevance.
It's
Yep.
okay. That makes sense. All right. Well,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah. You got it, man. Hey, and you know me as a person now. If you have people that you know in the business
Definitely.
world that could benefit from, send them my way, man.
I'll
I
definitely
would
do
appreciate
that.
it.
All right. Thanks
Awesome.
so much.
All right, Ron.
All
Appreciate it.
right.
Have a
Bye
great day,
bye.
man.
You too.